says, I hope there is well. So it's been so variable this week. Mr. Shem things will settle down next week. We're up to the Mishnah Succca Daf Chav Chesam Mudalef. Mishnah is halfway down, almost towards bottom of the Amud. Person, him and most of his body is in the sukkah, but the table is inside the house. There are two ways this could happen. Either it's a very, very small sukkah, it doesn't fit the table, or it's a very big sukkah, but he's choosing to sit at the very edge of the entrance of the sukkah. We discussed this already in the first parak. And machleikus, what is the machleikus? And the ma'isa, we paskin like Bishama that it is possible. Whether the sukkah is too small, whether the sukkah is big, and the person chooses to sit by the entrance, it is possible. Some say it's possible in Hatir, and some say it's possible in Du'abalon. Was not such a story. They went to visit the elders of Bisham, elders of Israel, to visit the Bichan and Achionis. They found him. They found that he was sitting in the sukkah, this table inside the house. They never complained, they never said anything to him. Why is that a proof? They said to him, if that's how you behaved, in fact, the Machlikas is also Machlikas as to what actually happened in the story. Did they acquiesce? Did they agree with him sitting with the table inside the house? Or did they say to him that by sitting like that, he was never become a sukkah in his whole lifetime? Noshim, women, the Avodim, and the Eved Ivri, Eved Kanani, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, there's Kanani. The Ketanim and young children, Petum and Sukkah, Patum and Sukkah. Cotton, a child that does not need his mother anymore, Chayv Sukkah. Ma'aseh, there was a story, the older Karosa Shama Azokin, the daughter of Shama Azokin had a baby. He broke through the plaster of the roof, and that way making an entrance and opening above the cot's bed. And he puts chach over the cot for the child. Says the Gemara, whether there's the Mishnah tells us that a woman is potter from sukkah. How do we know that? The Tanur Rabbanon ezoch ze ezoch ho'ezoch ve'ezoch. And the Torah just said the word ezoch would have included everybody. Since the Torah says ho'ezoch ve'ezoch, the hoitzes anoshim, that's coming to exclude women. The extra letter hey, according to this stage of the Gemara, is coming to exclude. Kol ezoch b'yisrael, the word kol, or the Rabbi says aktanim to include children. Obviously, the Gemara is going to ask that that's contradictory to our Mishnah, because our Mishnah says that children are part from the sukkah, but that the Gemara discusses later. So the Torah says, and we darshan ha'ezach, the extra hey, to tell you that women are excluded, and called that children are included. Ha'ezach is coming to exclude women. Remember, the ezach beinoshim and gavi mashma. Is that true that ezach comes to say men and women, and hey is coming to exclude? Well, Tanya, we have a similar word regarding that on the halacha that on Yom Kippur, one has to afflict oneself, meaning that one's not allowed to eat, drink, wear shoes, etc., like we learned in the last book of Yom. And then the Torah also uses the word ezach. The Torah says, and then we have a different kind of brisa. The brisa says, the letter he includes women. Ezach means men, and hey comes to include. So we have a very big contradiction. When it comes to Sukkah, it says Kol Ezach, we say Ezach means men and women, Ha'ezach comes to exclude women. By Yom Kippur, we say Ezach means men, and Ha'ezach comes to include women. So does the Ezach mean men and women or not? And does Hey come to include the exclude? Omar Rabba, one of these drashas is not a real drasha, it's just an asmachta. We're going to have to verify which one. One of them is a real drasha, and one is just an asmachta, which the Chachamim made the halacha, and they made the asmachta. Says the Gemara, which one is the real drasha, and which one is just a halacha which Chazal made a asmachta for. Asmachta is when we use a pasuk to support an idea, but not that we learn it from that idea, because really the pasuk is not saying that. It's just like somewhat like a hint to the idea. So which was the pasuk? Which was the halacha? The sufa, the more kolamali, we don't need the pasuk and we don't need the halacha. Both of these drashas are completely superfluous. Both the drasha that by Succca a woman is potter from Succca, and the halacha that in Yom Kippur a woman is mechuyev in inui, she has to do inui. Both of these drashas are completely superfluous. Why? Succca mitzvah says man groma. Mitzvah says man groma. Nashim peturis. A Succca is a woman which is a time obligated mitzvah. Right? It's only certain days of the year, and the halacha is that any mitzvah says man groma will not potter. So we don't need a pasuk to tell us that woman is potter. So when the Gemara asked originally, why is a woman potter from Succca, we should have just answered, Mr. Seishas Man Goma wouldn't have needed this pasuk. Furthermore, Yom Kippur, and also Yom Kippur is also top of Chav Chesed base. Whenever it comes to loisase, when men and women are equal. The whole halacha, there's a difference between mitzvah seish and goma, mitzvah seish inas man goma is only regarding a mitzvah seish. The mitzvah loisa say men and women are exactly the same. So in fact, if somebody would ask you, how do I know that woman is mechuyev and inu Yom Kippur? Inu is a loisa say, do not eat, do not drink, do not wear shoes, do not wash yourself, do not do tashmish mitzvah. All these are loisa says. And by loisa says there is no difference between men and women. If there is no difference between men and women, so they do not need a drasha. Let's just summarize what we've learned. We've learned that by Succca, women are potter. By Inu Yom Kippur, women are chayav. The Gemara brought two brises. One learns ha'ezach to exclude women. One learns ha'ezach to include women. Rabbi came along and told us that one is halacha l'Moishe Sinai, and one is an asmachta, and one is a real drasha. The Gemara says we don't need halacha l'Moishe Sinai. We don't need a drasha. The reality is that everything can be worked out from the normal principle that Succca is mitzvah seish and goma, therefore women are potter. And Yom Kippur is a loisa seish for the woman are chayav. Omar Rabbi. The next two answers the Gemara, Rashi explains, go in a similar state. That really, ha'ezrach is coming to include. And really, you do not need either drashas. Really, ezrach is coming to tell you men. Ha'ezrach is coming to include. Now, if that's the case, so that is why by Yom Kippur, we need, the pasuk tells us to include women by inu. The question is, what about Succca? But we still need a drasha. Why? That means we might have thought that the Torah says live in a sukkah like you live at home. Just like when you live at home, you live with your wife. That means, of course, sukkah is mitzvah and goma. Since it's mitzvah and goma, therefore women are potter. But you might have thought they were chayav, not because of themselves, but because of the husband, that Teshuvah came to do. Kamash malon ha'ezrach, that they're not chayav. So the way Rashi is not that we learn from Ezrach, it's halacha, that's halacha Moishe Sinai, and we have a smachta from the word of our Ezrach. We learned yesterday there's a gzera shava from Pesach to Sukkot, just like Pesach you're chayav the first night, so to Sukkot. So that means both Abba and Rava both agree that really Sukkot is Mr. Gomas woman apart. Only the Torah says ha'ezrach, and therefore you don't need a drasha. But both came along with a piece of logic why a woman would be chayav for Sukkah. Abai says Teshuvah came to do. Rava says because of the fact that would have a havam and they would do a gzera shava chamisha. Therefore the Gemara says the hashadom of Sukkah lechasa that it's halacha Moishe Sinai. And it's only a smachta. So kol amali levabo yisasa gave him. Sagdat chvina oezach beyisol amachman of loisa gave him. The Torah says oezach beyisol only yidon not gave him kamashmanot. Says what you make put with Yehuda Marav Nafka. The nitzachol letisefes inu, the extra time of inu. That means it's a halacha that you have to start the inu Yom Kippur a few minutes before Yom Kippur comes in. And you might have thought that women will not be obligated. Since there's no malchus and no kovos for Tosefes Inui, in his Chai B'Noshim Klal, Kamash Manon. That is the Chiddush. So let's summarize. By Sukkah woman or Potter, because of Mrs. and Groma, we wouldn't need a drasha, except for the fact that you would have a Havaminah, because maybe Tishvik can do like a Baya, or maybe because Chamish also like Roma. Therefore, we need to have a special Chamish. We see that say your Potter. So Kolezach B'Yisrael tells you that it's coming to is that I gave him a Chav. The whole reason the Torah says, Kol Ezrach is coming to tell you for Tosefes Inui. The extra minutes of Inui Yom Kippur, that is obvious. Says the Gemara, Kol Rabbi Saktanim, that children are Chav and Sukkah, but that not What do we Ktanim P'tum na Sukkah? We said the part of the Sukkah. It depends if it's up to Chinuch age or not. If it's up to Chinuch age, then he has to go in the Sukkah. If not. It's only midrabanan. So how can you say the word kol? It's going to include children. A child is in midrabanan. And small midrabanan because asmachta. Really, this whole drasha of kol to include children is not true. It's only asmachta because you don't need it because we don't have a pasuk. It's only midrabanan. It says about what's the child that does need his mother? If he's able to go to the bathroom for Gedolim, and he doesn't need his mother to wipe him, so therefore he doesn't need his mother. So therefore he's b'chuyev to sleep in the sukkah. Rashi's guess is that you have to word the word immo once over here. Rashi says this. And he wakes up, he doesn't call for his mother. Even an adult child sometimes calls for his mother when he wakes up. And immo twice. Where Rashi explains is like this. A child that calls for his mother, but if his mother doesn't come, he will then be happy and calm on his own. That's a child that needs to go in the sukkah. But a child that calls for his mother and doesn't stop calling for the mother until the mother comes, that's a child shelo yigia lechinuch. The Shavuot explains that many mitzvahs, we're going to have this by lulav, and we're going to have this by sifitzas mitzrayim, and you have this by sukkah. Each one is a different stage of yigia lechinuch. Each one, depending on the mitzvah, is a different age of yigia lechinuch. To sleep in the sukkah, since Muna Potter, it is necessary that he should be able to cope without his mother. So therefore, either he's able to go to the bathroom without his mother's help. Alternatively, he's able to call for his mother when she doesn't come, he's able to pacify himself. That is the age where he's yigia lechinuch for sukkah. It's not necessarily the yigia lechinuch for Pesach, not yigia lechinuch for Abba Minim, but for sukkah, that is the yigia lechinuch stage. That Shammai broke through the ceiling in order that his child, his grandchild, his daughter who had a baby boy, should be able to sleep in the sukkah. The story contradicts because a baby just born obviously needs his mother. So Mechsa Vachi Ketani is missing. But Shammai was machmi even on a baby. He broke through the ceiling. It was chach on the bed for his child, for his grandchild. So we see that Shammai was a machmir even for a baby. It says the Mishnah called Shiva Asyamim, all 7 days, for 7 days you make your sukkah the fixed abode and your home temporary. Yodu Geshomim, the rain comes down, when they're allowed to move out, when the tavshel, when the cooked food, a porridge kind of food, Rashi's mikvah means a thick food, would go bad, then you're allowed to go out. They said that when it rains on Sukkot, that's a sign that Hashem is displeased with us. And they gave a mashal. A servant comes to pour a cup of water for his master, and he throws the cup into his face. So therefore we see that when the person tries to do Sukkah and Hashem makes it rain, it's a proof that it is a lack of that Hashem is not happy with us. It says about a few brises which is basically the same as our Mishnah. Because Shiva Sayamim on the Moses Keva makes a sukkah fixed the base of Ketza. Holy Kelim, if you have nice Kelim, mal on the sukkah, bring them into the sukkah. Matzois noise, nice sheets, mal on the sukkah, put them into the sukkah. Oichel v'shoisi, eat and drink, u'metayel b'sukkah. You even play and go for outings in the sukkah. That means the sukkah should be the place where you should be all the time. We're not in the middle. The Torah Rabbanon teach we can do. We can almost go to the Moishe of the Succca. Keva b'Yisrael. I case the Kilim Noim. He has nice vessels. Man in the sukkah. Masois nois man in the sukkah. Oicha v'shoisa metal b'sukkah. Umeshaning b'sukkah. And you learn Torah in the sukkah. Any Rama Mikko Mishnah Metalalto Chumash Mishnayos you can learn in the sukkah. V'tenuye, for understanding, meaning Gemara, the depths of Torah. You go out of the sukkah because to learn properly, a person needs to have a lot of peace and a lot of tranquility. And inside the sukkah, it's more difficult. Therefore, his mitzvah is not able. Migros is just repeating the words. Iyuni is being ma'ayan to delve into the words. It says, when they would finish a shir of Fatah V'Chistam, they would run through the Gemara together. And then they would be ma'ayan and they would try to delve into the logic and they would try and delve into it properly. So therefore the Gemara says that light things is you should easy things you can learn in the sukkah, but delving in you should learn out of the sukkah. That means drinking things. That means what happens is after you finish drinking, you can leave your cup in the sukkah because it's not off-putting. But plates which you've eaten from, after you've eaten, what happens is you take it out of the sukkah because it's off-putting. Taisa says it's referring to pots. You don't bring pots into the sukkah. This is a question. The jug that you draw water from the well, either if it's made chatzpa, if it's made out of earthenware, shochel, if it's made out of wood, out of the sukkah. The shvage, but the candles in the sukkah. Some say you should put the candles out of the sukkah. In a small sukkah, you shouldn't put the candles inside because you'll be so tense, you won't sit properly, because it takes up space, you're scared the whole thing will go on fire. In a big sukkah, you should put the candles inside. Mishmor, in fact, paskins that one should be very careful to put the candles in the sukkah if one can. And therefore, many times if a person lights the candle, sometimes the person does it on something else. The person should be aware that it should be in the room of the sukkah. That is the chiyuv. Okay, we'll stop here. It's a short daf. And tomorrow, Mr. Hashem, we're going to finish the perek. Hopefully, it will be live. And Dav in English will be live. And Mr. Hashem will